Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital Monday, February 10th recap. Josslyn plays Cyrus, Willow needs Michael leverage and Rick rescues Ava. General Hospital GH spoilers recap for Monday, February 10th. Reveals that Josslyn Jax Eden McCoy manipulated Cyrus Renault Jeff Kober while Willow Corinthos Caitlin McMullen was warned she needed Michael Corinthos Chad dual leverage. Rick Lansing Rick Hurst also rescued Ava Jerome Mora West, so here's how Monday's GH action went down. At Crimson, Nina Reeves Cynthia Watrose played up how Drew Quartermaine Cameron Matheson could marry Willow and how the kids might end up calling him daddy. Carly Spencer Laura Wright understood Nina's point, but she questioned how far Nina was willing to go in this plan. Nina insisted she'd do whatever was necessary to get Drew out of the picture. After Carly and Nina agreed this was just about Drew and not about making decisions for Michael and Willow, Nina had another mission only Carly could handle. At GH, Cyrus spied on Elizabeth Baldwin Rebecca Herbst as Rick brought her flowers and discussed the Cyrus parole details that he looked into. Rick eventually convinced Liz to go for a walk with him on her break. At Bobby's, Christina Corinthos Davis Kate Mancy showed up after being summoned by Josslyn, who had something going on and needed Christina to take Avery Corinthos Ava and Grace Scarla and Donna Corinthos Scarlett Spears to the park. Meanwhile, Ava headed to the park with Trina Robinson to Biana Ali, who told her about overstepping with Kai Taylor Jens Austin Astrup. Kai arrived a little later to apologize for blowing up at Trina, so they agreed they wanted to get to know each other better. Ava eventually approached Avery and wanted to take her to the new apartment, but Christina obviously wasn't on board. When Rick arrived with Liz, he insisted on speaking with Ava away from the others and led her back to her place. After Rick scolded Ava for the park debacle, he pushed her to stick to their legal strategy and trust him. Ava and Rick eventually got swept up in a passionate moment, so they kissed as the clothes started coming off. Back with Christina, she complained to Liz about Ava's actions and felt Sonny Corinthos Maurice Bernard would shut Ava down for good once he got updates. If Christina couldn't have her daughter, she insisted Ava couldn't have hers either. At Bobby's again, Cyrus entered and wondered if Josslyn would refuse him service. Josslyn shocked Cyrus by apologizing instead and suggested she took her anger out on him after Dex Heller's Evan Hofer demise. Once Josslyn acted like the cops didn't think Cyrus was guilty, he looked bewildered and decided not to order anything after all. On his way out, Cyrus stopped to look back at Josslyn and seemed deep in thought. Later, Colette Gerard Mercedes Lopez Renard sat at a table and introduced herself to Josslyn before handing over an address from Jack Brennan Chris McKenna. Josslyn learned it was for a property that Austin Gatlin Holt Roger Howarth bought a month after Cyrus' prison release. At the Quartermaine mansion, Tracy Quartermaine Jane Elliott assumed Jason Morgan Steve Burton was looking for his baby mama now that Drew had told everyone Jason impregnated Sasha Gilmore Corbin Sophia Matson. Since Jason didn't flat out deny it, Tracy took that as confirmation and let him know Sasha was at the Port Charles Grill. Sasha had a tense interaction with Willow there before she found Felicia Scorpio Christina Wagner waiting with Cody Bell Josh Kelly, who didn't know Sasha was coming. Felicia forced the cousins to talk things out, so Cody was sorry for blowing up Sasha's business. Although Sasha appreciated that Cody cared, she made it clear that she wanted to raise this baby independently and pushed him to respect her choices. Nearby, Martin Gray Michael E. Knight asked if Willow was sure about the divorce, so she insisted she was. With that in mind, Martin felt they had to go after full custody, alimony, and just take an overall fierce approach. When Nina arrived, she tried to pump the brakes and drag out the divorce instead. Martin argued that Willow was at a disadvantage since she was the cheater, so he urged her to get him leverage on Michael. Once Jason entered, Cody called him a slimeball and got the whole restaurant's attention by pushing him to admit he was the father of Sasha's baby. Back with Carly, she paid Tracy a visit and convinced her to stand down when it came to antagonizing Willow. Tracy was clearly the person Nina wanted Carly to handle, so Carly did her part. Although Tracy agreed to leave Drew to Carly, she wanted Carly to make Drew hurt. General Hospital spoilers say Drew is headed for a downfall one way or another, so we'll pass along more predictions on the terrible news that's brewing. In the intricate tapestry of Port Charles, the episode of General Hospital that aired on Monday, February 10, 2025, wove together deception, internal conflict, and unexpected alliances, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. Josslyn's calculated deception. Josslyn Jax, driven by a relentless desire to uncover the truth behind Dex Heller's untimely death, embarked on a perilous journey into the shadows of Port Charles. Her investigation led her to the enigmatic Cyrus Renault, a man whose reputation for manipulation and danger was well known. Aware of the risks, Josslyn meticulously crafted a plan to extract information from him. Feigning vulnerability, she approached Cyrus under the guise of seeking guidance, all the while concealing her true intentions. Her performance was convincing, and Cyrus, perhaps underestimating her resolve, began to divulge details that could potentially link him to Dex's demise. However, the dance between them was fraught with tension, as Josslyn had to navigate the fine line between eliciting information and maintaining her cover, fully aware that a single misstep could have dire consequences. Willow's moral dilemma. Meanwhile, Willow Tate found herself ensnared in a web of ethical quandaries. Her relationship with Drew Kane had become the talk of the town, drawing scrutiny and judgment from all corners. The weight of public opinion pressed heavily upon her, leading to sleepless nights and endless self-reflection. In a heartfelt conversation with confidant Sasha Gilmore, Willow expressed her turmoil. "Every choice feels like a betrayal," she confided, her voice tinged with despair. The societal expectations and the whispers behind her back made her question the path she had chosen. She grappled with the desire to follow her heart versus the need to uphold her integrity, especially with the looming threat of losing custody of her children. The internal battle was relentless, leaving her torn between passion and duty. Rick's timely intervention. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Ava Jerome found herself cornered by the very schemes she had set into motion. Her latest plot had not only failed but had also backfired spectacularly, leaving her vulnerable to her adversaries. Just as the walls seemed to close in, Rick Lansing emerged as an unexpected ally. With his legal acumen and strategic mind, Rick devised a plan to extricate Ava from her predicament. He approached her with a proposition, outlining a method to counteract the fallout of her failed scheme. Ava, though wary, recognized the lifeline being offered. Together, they navigated the treacherous waters of Port Charles's power dynamics, turning the tide in her favor. Rick's intervention not only salvaged Ava's standing but also hinted at a deeper alliance forming between the two, one that could shift the balance of power in the city. Trina and Kai's blossoming connection. Amidst the turmoil, a tender narrative unfolded between Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor. The two found solace in each other's company, their bond strengthening with each shared moment. On this particular day, they decided to escape the chaos of their lives, embarking on a spontaneous adventure to a nearby art exhibit. As they wandered through the gallery, discussing the nuances of each piece, their conversations flowed effortlessly, revealing shared dreams and aspirations. Kai, at one point, paused before a painting, turning to Trina with a smile. "This reminds me of the first time we met," he mused, drawing a parallel between the artwork and their journey together. The day culminated in a serene moment by the waterfront, where they sat side by side, the setting sun casting a golden hue over them. Their connection, still in its nascent stages, hinted at the promise of something profound and enduring. Jason and Tracy's tense confrontation. In another part of town, tensions flared as Jason Morgan and Tracy Quartermaine found themselves in a heated confrontation. The air was thick with unspoken grievances as they faced off, each representing conflicting interests within the Quartermaine family. Tracy, with her sharp wit and unyielding demeanor, accused Jason of undermining the family's legacy. "You're tearing this family apart with your actions," she asserted, her eyes blazing with intensity. Jason, ever the stoic, responded with measured calm, defending his decisions and emphasizing his commitment to the family's well-being. The exchange was a clash of ideologies, with tradition pitted against pragmatism. By the end of their confrontation, though no resolution was reached, it was evident that the dynamics within the Quartermaine family were shifting, setting the stage for future power struggles. Carly's solemn vow. Meanwhile, Carly Corinthos found herself at a crossroads, reflecting on the recent events that had shaken her world. The challenges faced by her loved ones weighed heavily on her heart, prompting a moment of introspection. In a quiet corner of her home, Carly lit a solitary candle, its flickering flame casting dancing shadows on the walls. She closed her eyes, making a silent vow to protect her family at all costs. "No matter what comes our way, we'll face it together," she whispered to herself, the resolve in her voice unwavering. This solemn promise fortified her spirit, preparing her for the battles that lay ahead, and reaffirming her role as the family's steadfast matriarch. Ava's scheme unraveled. Ava Jerome's intricate plan, which she had believed to be foolproof, began to unravel before her eyes. The carefully laid traps and manipulations she had set in motion turned against her, leading to unintended consequences. As her scheme backfired, Ava found herself exposed and vulnerable, her reputation hanging by a thread. The allies she had counted on distanced themselves, and her adversaries seized the opportunity to strike. In the aftermath, Ava was left to pick up the pieces, contemplating her next move in a game where trust was scarce, and betrayal lurked.